Welcome to SELINTalks, podcast initiative by Selinclub. I'm Shruti Verma, your host for today's episode. We're thrilled to have Pratima Sinha as our guest today. She's a passionate and creative educator with over 30 years of experience in the field. And she has headed many schools with Indian and international boards with extensive experience in curriculum development and academic quality management. During our conversation, we explored the concept of aesthetic learning and aesthetic education. She shared her insights on the importance of incorporating artistic and creative practices into education and how it can enhance students' learning experiences. She also spoke about her work on teaching life skills through theatre and theatre as an alternative therapy for autism. Aside from her work in education, she is also a theatre personality and holds a diploma in Kathak dance form. Join us as we dive deeper into her expertise and her unique approach to teaching life skills through aesthetic learning methods. First of all, thank you so much for taking our time to be here with us. A very, very warm welcome to you on Selin Talks. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Great. To start with, you have a very extensive experience in the field of education, having worked in various roles such as teacher, school head, and academic trainer. How has been your journey so far?
I recently made a video of my journey. I don't know whether you're aware of it, but there's a magazine called Brain Feed Magazine.
Right.
And just before 8th March, that is International Women's Day, they requested me to make a short video of my journey. And when I was actually creating that video, I felt that there's so much more to do. Although, it's been 3 decades of my experience. I started working in 1985. But still, the world out there is so large. There's so much to learn, to acquire knowledge that it's never ending. But I feel good and I feel proud of what I'm today because it's all because of the hard work and commitment, the passion, and the focus. That's why I feel I'm here today.
Wow. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on a personal level that you thought that it's still far away from. But I think it must have been a very fulfilling journey, and it is going to be ahead. I'm sure of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I said I'm proud because it has been fulfilling and a wonderful journey in education.
Right. Actually, I wanted to know about you have been a very you've been teaching through life skills, theater, dance, and all of that. You also suggest that an alternative therapy for autism is using theater. How does that work? I'm very, very keen to know about it.
So there is a proper diploma in alternative therapy where theater art comes into the picture. In fact, I had taken it up in my school when I was working with Meridian in Hyderabad, and the children are made to wear masks. See, children with autism, they can't look at you directly.
Yeah,
because they have that fear factor. So when you wear a mask and connect, the connectivity is better. So this is a proven researched fact, and it really worked wonders in our school because we did have a lot of children with autism. And it's not only our school, but I will say that many schools have got many children who are suffering from autism, but um, people have to understand that they need that special help.
right.
So this alternate therapy is all about, how you conduct activities through theater. So role plays and with including music and jumping around and mask, because that is the first thing where the child starts feeling comfortable with you because he doesn't have to really look at you in the eye, but he starts understanding the instructions. And slowly and steadily, I remember when we had invited the parents at the end of the year, They were amazed that, their children could do so much. So it was
Wow.
actually a very, very satisfying experience.
I have not actually read about it anywhere. I mean, like you said, there's a
So
research
please read
about it.
about it. Diploma. There are diplomas, online diplomas available on this course also.
Wow, amazing. Also, you have been recognized as one of the top 100 principals by Digital Learning and Brainfeed magazine. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you so much. Yeah.
With your work, how do you inspire and motivate others to achieve their full potential? Because you must have a very big team in working with your place. You're a leadership. You have a leadership role. How do you inspire and motivate others to reach their full potential?
So see, I personally connect with people. I am very good at connecting with people. I am very good at understanding their potentials. So this is how first you have to build up the relationship. That how you bring out the best from that person.
Right.
So if you're able to connect, if you're able to build that relationship, if you understand that person, you, I mean, people will follow you blindly. And this is what I've seen in my years of in this field. I have created many leaders. I mean, they had worked as like how I became a leader, working as a teacher, and so on and so forth. I've created so many leaders, and they are like doing extremely well. And when I see those girls doing extremely well, I feel so proud again. So it's basically connectivity, relationship, and trust factor.
I really want to know how do you incorporate, first of all, what is aesthetic education?
Okay. So see, I'm sure you know the meaning of aesthetics.
Of
That is
course.
appreciation of beauty. And now, of course, I've been doing that, integrating art into my curriculum, even though NEP had not come in those days, otherwise also. But now NEP actually is talking about aesthetic education, is aesthetic literacy. It's nothing very big, it's nothing very new or whatever it is. It's just that you have to integrate the art forms into the regular teaching, into the regular curriculum. See, when we talk about knowing the student, a student may connect better with art form. Where a student may connect better when he's learning through theater. A student may connect better when he's learning through dance. So inclinations, knowing the student and giving individual students their place to stand. We need to bring in integration of aesthetic. Aesthetic is nothing but appreciation of things around you. Even a pen on my table, I appreciate the work it does. Even a marble brought to a classroom, the child should be able to appreciate the marble and bring it to some creative level. So
Right.
it highlights, see, I'll tell you, if you see the hierarchy of
Yeah.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay, in that aesthetics comes just below self-actualization, okay. So when I am able to appreciate the beauty around me, I'm able to appreciate myself, and that is where self-actualization comes in. So we talk to the teachers also today that first you should have a self confidence in yourself, appreciate yourself. Only then that self confidence of yours will filter to the students. So bringing in art forms into the curriculum, integrating it into the curriculum, uh, appreciation, children should be made aware of what is beautiful around them. That really helps in this child becoming very confident person.
Right. One of my next question was actually how has your experience in performing arts, kind of helped you understand and promote aesthetic literacy in students, in education altogether? So how has it actually helped?
So when I'm talking about, I'll just give you a small example. When I'm talking about environment, I bring in
Yeah.
environment through music. I bring in environment to the classroom through art form. I bring in art environment through theater. I bring in art from through dance. So finally, what happens? The child is exposed to that in environment topic in different forms, and
Yeah.
the concept is learned by the child so quickly. Teacher doesn't have to really do anything after that.
No ratification anymore.
No ratification, nothing. In fact, you'll be surprised the way children speak. If you ask any child to get up and speak about environment like this, they talk so confidently because they've been exposed in all the areas related to that.
Right. I always have this thought, and I've always been advocate of it, that without art in any form, I don't think humans will be able to exist properly. It'll be like a very, very sad
See, this is
life.
why we say it's not only about our own classroom. The child needs to see beyond the classroom.
Yeah.
When we talk about aesthetics, we need to make them understand the culture, the traditions, the appreciation of why we celebrate so and so festival. Why, and not only for our own country, but also across the world, appreciation of other art forms, right?
Yeah.
Appreciation of how a theater happens. So these are all, it makes the child think, and it makes the child make choices. It makes the child a critical thinker, understand the creativity, and these are the 21st century skills that we are talking about.
Yeah.
It makes
For
the
sure.
child communicate better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how it has really helped. I'm really telling you, I used to do it when I was a teacher way back, bringing in the art forms into the classroom. Now, of course, IB schools have got all the art forms they have to integrate into the curriculum. NEP has also come out with the same thing. And I remember I used to actually sit with the dance teacher, the music teacher, the theater teacher, the librarian, okay,
Oh,
to understand that how can I go ahead with this particular topic. So how will you take up music, how will you take up dance, how will you take up, can you put out some appreciation books related to that particular topic in the library. So this is how it used to work, and it really works well.
the concept that we were taught while, even when I think about it now that you were talking about it, when I think of concepts that were taught to us while singing or reciting or theater or the concept of condensation and freezing and all of those things, it's still in our head because it was taught in that way.
In yes.
Yeah.
So A, B, C, D also, like A, B, C, D. Why music
Yeah.
was brought into it? Why new words were taught through music? Because children enjoy it also, and they learn faster.
Yeah, it actually it has a better way to go inside. We're doing anything, we'll sing because that's a very basic childlike habit that anything a child does, he or she actually sings about it. I have noticed it a lot. So anything that is
And
been,
today, children have become very smart,
yeah,
right? So we have to keep up to that smartness of the child.
very
We have
correct.
to give the child that kind of exposure, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the teachers have to become very smart. The teachers have to bring in new strategies into the classroom. The level of the child has increased so much, the understanding level of the child. Attention span is decreasing, but the understanding level is increasing. So the teacher doesn't have to repeat too many times the same thing,
Yeah.
you know so we have to bring in new strategies, some creative strategies into the classroom to make them understand the concept and take it forward.
Very true. How are you, since you have been practicing this for so long, is there a special training for your teachers that you've been doing, or are you doing it separately as well for other people who want to use, aesthetic literacy in their system?
uh, I was not doing it consciously earlier, I used to talk about it all the time, but now I'm really become conscious about it. I'm being very honest about it. I just had 2, 3 sessions with some other school teachers recently
Right.
on the same, because everybody is kind of becoming aware of it. So I feel it's very important. In fact, the other day we had a session where I had brought in a lady who does bakery,
Oh,
a person who does murals, and a person who's good in languages. Okay, so then everybody spoke about how if you bake a cake, okay, how you appreciate the 5 sense. I mean, how each 5 sense of the person is involved, when you
right.
taste, when you touch, when you smell. So the 5 senses of the person has to be really, really included in that. So it went out beautiful. How you lay a table,
Yeah.
the appreciation of how the table is laid. So see, these
Mm,
are small nuances, but it really matters. Languages, the beauty of languages, appreciating the beauty of the languages. That's again very important, right? Every language has got its own beauty. The use of words. So the lady who spoke about languages, she had taken up the poem, the daffodils. And
okay.
if you see at the end in Daffodils, the poet says that the happiness came to me when I saw the daffodils waving,
Yeah.
the yellow bright daffodils. So happiness also is part of bringing in aesthetic literacy.
Right. When you just said, I really thought like how cooking actually awakens all the 5 senses. Anything, even it's about again appreciating and not. I think we should be a little more conscious towards it because it actually helps our brain to analyze better, think better, and notice everything rather than being just hasty.
This is what I'm saying. See, when you bring in that culture of aesthetic literacy, the child starts noticing everything and starts appreciating. And that is where the confidence level of the child comes in,
Yeah.
right? So now I've started seriously taking sessions on this. In fact, for my school teachers also, I'm going to take it before the session starts for them,
Mhm.
and I'm really going to seriously implement it in the classrooms.
I mean, obviously, you have over 3 decades of experience. What was this one advice or one mantra that got you going throughout?
Oh, my one mantra was always passion and challenge. So, see, I was in a school for 20 years.
Right.
That sounds very weird to people when I talk to them and tell them that I did in one school I worked for 20 years. But in that 20 years in one school, I moved around to different classes and different roles. After 2 years, I used to go to the principal and tell her that, ma'am, you have to give me something else now. So that made me, always excited. See the challenges that come, the new things that we need to look at. See, whether I worked in pre-primary, I worked in senior school, I've taught grade 11th and 12th. I was a pre-primary coordinator, I was a headmistress, I was class 2 teacher. So all these roles, were different and always a challenge. So
Right.
that challenge and that passion, 2 words, always.
So many roles you have played.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it was
Can
fun.
you?
It was fun.
I can see that. I think the whole passion about the entire thing actually it shows obviously in the conversation and the topics that you have been talking about. It really shows. Could you share some examples of educators who have inspired you throughout, if there are any?
Okay, I'll tell you my mentor. I like to speak about her. Um, when I joined this particular school in 1985, I was I had no qualification for education. I mean, going into school, I had never worked before, total novice. But Mrs. Lamry, my mentor, she had retired from one of the schools and she was the headmistress of this school. She took me under her wing. She taught me each and every fine nuances of teaching. That includes writing on the board, that includes corrections on the paper, that includes handwriting to be checked in the notebooks. So I have learned and I remember even today whatever she has taught me. And I think that has really, her mentorship had given me that kind of platform to move forward and created my interest in this field of education.
Wow. You have also been invited to speak at various conferences and events to share your insights. Can you share some of the, the insights that you have shared in these conferences, which could be helpful for our viewers?
So most of the time, especially during pandemic, we had a lot of online sessions and all, and
Yeah,
we're talking about technology and technology and technology.
all the
But
time.
yeah, but generally, when we meet at the conferences, some new aspect of teaching and in the education field, uh, new initiatives that have come in and all that, and we always talk about it. And I always like to put forward things which I feel are very important, which people are not really looking into it. Like slowly, I'm talking about, heutagogy. That is the pedagogy which talks about self-directed learning.
Okay,
So now we need to make, see, we are now teaching students who are 21st century learners,
right,
right? Tomorrow, the world is changing so fast. The jobs that are there today may not be there tomorrow. The lucrative
correct.
jobs we feel today are lucrative may not be there tomorrow. Some new job profiles will come up. So how do we prepare our students for that? Right. So on I keep doing my research and all these things. So I found out that there is a new pedagogy called utagogy, where we talk about the child learning on his own. So there is a lot of work related to that, where we have to create a curriculum that will help the child to be a self-learner, a
Right.
self-directed learner. So heutagogy is the new thing that I feel very passionate about, and in my conferences and all, I generally speak about it. So all the conferences basically we talk about the new initiatives, the technology that is coming up. Will the technology replace the teacher? All these aspects. Then of course, principals, heads talk about how their schools are following some best practices and the sharing of good practices are done. So these are the general, topics that are taken up in the conferences and all. I'd gone to Singapore recently where I had taken
Wow.
part in the EduTech conference. I was also invited as a speaker. Again, a topic of, technology and how it is changing the world. And I personally feel that this is going to be the future.
Right. Very, very true.
Yeah. Definitely, whether the child is a primary child or a senior child, they are adapting to technology like super fast,
Very
right?
true.
And we have to accept that fact. So these are the things, and it was a beautiful conference of all new technology. Half of it went over my head because we are still not into that kind of advanced technology in our
Yeah.
schools, but it was awesome.
Is there anything that you would like to tell our audience, which needs to be talked about, a message or an advice that has stood by you?
Okay, so I personally feel that always be open minded to learning. There is so much out there. There are so many new things that are coming up. Appreciate each and everything, appreciate the beauty around you, have that self confidence in yourself that yes, you can do it. And I'm really telling everybody that if you have that self confidence, you will really reach up to what you want to achieve. The success is yours.
I love the find beauty in everything. It is such a simple but very forgotten thing now. It makes everything hasty. We are not looking at things because when we actually notice small things, not even kids like us, we have forgotten entirely.
So, if you take glass tumbler, and you put it in the sunlight, the sun reflects, the beauty, the beautiful colors, and everything.
Yeah.
That itself is you're appreciating the beauty, right? So these are small things, but appreciation of beauty around you is very important. We are forgetting it because we are always in a hurry,
Yes. Very,
right?
very true.
And even a small gesture of the child towards the teacher or the parents should be appreciated. So that's also aesthetic literacy.
Wow. Summed up very, very beautifully, I must say. Last but not the least, are there any books that you would suggest our audience to read and become more aware about what aesthetic literacy is in education or anything about that?
I would like them to read books written by Krishnamurti, J.J. Krishnamurti, which talks a lot about aesthetics. And there's one beautiful book. I am really not remembering the name, by Rabindranath Tagore. Um I think Love and Peace, something like that, which I'd read, and it really might made a difference in my life. Where he
Right.
says that the child classroom is the seashore,
Oh, wow.
where he can pick up the pebbles and the seashells and listen to the sea and appreciate the beauty around. So that's a beautiful book. If you want, I can research on the name and send it to you. I read it a long time back. I'm not able to remember that, but there are lots of books related to aesthetics. Even if you go, encourage the children. Teachers should actually encourage the children to go to exhibitions, art exhibitions. They should bring in a painting into the classroom and ask the
Right.
children to appreciate what is there in that painting, the color combination. So these are all finer things of life. We say these are all finer things of life which we need to expose our children.
Yeah, I have recently found this not interest. I must say, like, again, beauty in going into exhibition. Not recently. I used to do it and then I stopped because obviously life has its own busyness that keeps going around. But recently I went to an exhibition and I was just stunned because first of all, it was after such a long time. Second of all, it was so simplified and so pretty, so beautiful, not in terms of just painting, but the way it was displayed, the way it was, it has that touch of the khushbu of the agarbattis and all of those things that were going on. I was just noticing every tiny thing, and I just realized what I was doing after you explained it.
See, when we take children to the museum, let them appreciate the ancient history,
Yeah.
right? So everything that we talk about, or we should always keep in mind that the children should start appreciating whatever is around them. That's
Yeah.
important.
I think I would really like to know more about your training towards the teacher. We can connect again on this and have another episode regarding this because this requires a whole episode of itself because
It was lovely
everybody should know
connecting.
about it. Same here, ma'am. Same here. It was lovely.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. You
All
too.
the
Have a
best.
nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.